Hello everybody. Well, finishing up the gardening. It is fall time, and so this will be the last video on this, so let's get started. First, the tomatoes was really bad because it was really droughty. The drought was really bad on them, so here's that. As you see, I keep fighting drought with the tomato plants. And with the tomato plants constantly going through drought, they're not making no fruit. I am getting squash out of this big plant here. That's one big long plant. And so far I've gotten 5 squash, and I got 2 new ones right down there. So I'm going to water these plants and show you that they perk back up, and I got to constantly water them. Growing in a container like this, I don't like it because the water runs out and the ground keeps sucking up the moisture because it's so droughted. As you see, the ground's just dry. Alright, going to water the plants. Okay, as you can see, the garden's starting to perk back up, and it does this every day. And when tomato plants doesn't get water like that, to where they constantly have to fight the sun, you won't get fruit. And for once, I've got beautiful plants. I even got rid of the tomato worms. And so far, nothing. Only thing I can do is try to keep the plants alive and hope that this fall, as it cools off, they'll make me some tomatoes before everything dies out. This squash plant at least is making me some squash. Well, it paid off dealing with all the drought. I fought the drought and kept watering the plants even though they weren't getting nowhere, in the hopes that maybe fall time the plants would make me fruit. So the tomatoes did make me fruit. Not as good as I hoped, but it's fruit. So as you see here, I have little green tomatoes everywhere, and I will also show you a picture of some that I already took in the house. And there's tomatoes of all sizes in here. The squash plant did make me around 5 squash and died. I'll also show you a picture of that. But all through here I've got little baby tomatoes. To be safe, since it did go through a drought, I will pluck the tomatoes off while they were turning yellow so that they do not split or end up with blossom rot. I don't mind them ripening in the house, they taste the same. Now for the other plants. And this is the ginger. As you see, some of them didn't get very big, they're just small little sprouts. But my main plants that started out even started extra shoots. And that would be my cat demon. Okay, so this ginger is still growing. It's turned a little yellow because of all the extra rain we got from that hurricane that pushed up here as a tropical storm. And so we got a lot of rain from it. And next pot. So this here's a small sprout of ginger I have in this pot here. I planted around 4 pieces and got 1 sprout. I think I'll take this pot in, the whole pot, and see if it'll grow in a house for the winter. But I'll dig the other ginger up. I'm going to use this method again in bigger containers, but I need to make sure it holds the water more. But I'm learning as I go. Okay, it is time to harvest the ginger. I've dug up the smaller plants here and already moved them. I'm going to try to keep them alive in the house. Ginger does not grow in the cold, so I need to get these dug up. It's starting to turn fall and it's starting to get cooler, and I don't need the plants to die. I'm going to see if this is big enough to eat. If not, I'll transplant it. So here we go. Okay, I'm going to try to get you as close as I can here. Alright, let's check this ginger out and see how well it goes. This part here is edible. I would thoroughly wash it just to make sure any animals didn't waste on it, if you know what I mean. Alright, let's get started. Now, ginger is a tropical plant, and this is not a tropical area, so I wasn't sure if I was going to get this to grow or not, but you know what, I'm quite loving this. So this is the ricin that I planted, and this is the plant. So this is the original ricin, and that part there, I break it off, it'll still grow. This part here is still edible, but I might be able to still get these to grow. This part here, though, is quite edible. I'll probably keep that in for growing, that in for growing, eat the rest. Okay, for where I live and the temperature and the drought, I'm quite happy with this. Okay, these are the smaller gingers. I planted them into smaller pots. I'm going to transplant them once more before I put them in the house. As you see, they're trying to change color. It's getting cooler. I'm going to try to save them and see if I can't grow them in the house better. Well, I use a greenhouse, but I ain't got to that point yet. Okay, so that's the ginger for this year. Okay, so that's gardening for this year. I had to deal with a lot of drought this year and everything, but everything turned out quite well. I need a greenhouse in the future. I think that will help out a lot. With the way nature keeps changing and things droughts every year, I'm going to have to start planting things sooner. But at least the potatoes turned out good, and I did get some other plants to grow. I'm quite happy with the ginger. Well, that's all the gardening for this year. I will see you next year on my videos. Thank you for watching. And be sure to hit the like button.